The book I chose for summer reading was a play by Thornton called Our Town. The play is set in a normal small town with three main characters. The stage manager, who is an authoritative figure and acts as a narrator and guides you and the other characters through the play. Emily Webb, who is the main female role, and George Gibbs, who is the main male role. The story takes place in 3 acts. Act 1 starts out with the stage manager talking about and describing the town, which includes the town hall, Main Street, and the schools, although the stage is only set up as the Gibbs and Webb's family houses, causing the reader to imagine all the landmarks. The story begins in the morning when the Webb family sits down to eat breakfast and chats, as do the Gibbs. The children get done and meet each other on the street, then walk to school together. The mothers then go outside and gossip, as most small-town people often do. The play skips a couple hours until school is over and the children are going home. Emily gets home first and is playing in the yard when George walks up and stops to say hi. They talk about school and end with Emily promising him to help him with his homework. Later, after he walks away, Emily asks her mother if she is good-looking, to which her mother scolds her for asking such a silly question, but then replies she is pretty enough. Act 2 takes place 3 years later. Through a series of conversations between the milkman and other town gossip, the audience comes to find out that George and Emily are planning on getting married the next day. George tries to go see Emily, and when her mother refuses for the fear of bad luck, the stage manager takes us on a flashback to when the courtship began. It was their junior year, and George was becoming popular due to his stardom with baseball. They were walking home, and Emily commented on how he was becoming stuck up and conceited. George was hurt, but appreciated the honesty. Emily instantly feels bad and starts to cry, to which George takes her to get ice cream and confesses his feelings, for which she reciprocates. The story goes back to the day of the wedding, when George momentarily gets cold feet, not wanting to grow up and get married for the fear of not being ready, as the same feelings are with Emily as she is getting into her dress. The wedding ended up going on, and they get happily married. Act 3 is short and takes place 9 years later at Emily's funeral. She dies from childbirth, to which George was heartbroken. Emily is now a ghost watching her funeral take place. She talks with other ghosts and wants to go back to one of the happiest moments in her life, which is her 12th birthday. She gets a present from her father, who has been out of town for a couple of days. Emily is suddenly overwhelmed with grief right before she is able to open the present and tells the stage manager that she would like to go back to the present. The fact that no one really appreciates and wastes time living is just too much for her to handle. She then decides to go back to her grave and accept what has happened. The theme of the story, in my opinion, is just not passing life by and enjoying what time you have.